Hi there, my name's Dave, and today we'll be tasting a 2016 Campo Viejo Rioja from northern Spain. Now, Rioja, as I said, is in northern Spain, and it is a DOC region, which is the top category in Spain. There are actually 3 sub-regions of Rioja, but I won't get into those because a lot of the wines that come from there are blended with grapes from all 3 regions. The harvesting of wine in Rioja dates all the way back to Phoenician times, and the earliest documentary evidence of winemaking is 873 AD from a monastery that made wine. Rioja wine was first recognized as a region unto itself by the King of Navarra and Aragon in 1102. The region was approved for DO designation in 1970 and DOC designation, which was better, in 1991. The official motto of the Rioja wine producers is Saber quien eres, and because I take Spanish, I know that means to know who you are. The traditional red grapes in the Rioja region are Tempranillo, Garnacha, Graciano, and Mazuelo, also known as Carignana, or in France, Carignan. Now, the winery is called Campo Viejo, and they make some different wines from the region. It's a fairly large winery in Spain. This particular wine is a Reserva wine, which means that it's been aged at least 3 years, with one of those years in a cask. Gran Reserva, by the way, means aged for 2 years in the cask and 3 years in the bottle, for a total of 5 years. Well, this wine, even though it only had to be aged for 3 years, was actually aged for 4 years. And it's a 2016, so it hit the market a couple years ago and has had a couple more years of bottle age since then. The meaning of Reserva means something in Spain. It actually means something in Italy too. It's a similar aging and aging in the bottle and aging in the cask designation. Everywhere else in the world, Reserva doesn't really have a legal definition. So any winery, for example, in the Okanagan, can say it's a Reserva wine. It usually is used for their better wines, but doesn't necessarily have to be. There's no legal thing behind the name Reserva, where in Spain there is. Now, this wine is made from a blend of Tempranillo, Graciano, and Mazuelo. Tempranillo, the name comes from temprano, which means early or soon in Spanish, is called that because the grapes ripen several weeks before other Spanish grapes. It's a fairly neutral grape aroma-wise compared to more aromatic grapes like Cab Sauv and Pinot Noir. So it's often used to blend, as well as being a single varietal. One of the other grapes is Graciano. There's not a lot of information on Graciano that I could find. It is a low-yield, late harvesting grape that makes wine with deep color, strong aromas, and can age a long time. Mazuelo, also known as Carignana or Carignan, is often found in French wine, but it did originate, apparently, in Carignana, Aragon, Spain. It was used for a long time in those jug wines in the Languedoc of France. It got a bit of a bad name, but now it's being used a little more wisely when they're using this particular grape. It is a late budding grape with thick stalks, which makes machine harvesting quite difficult. So this wine is a 2016 Campo Viejo Reserva for $19 regular price at the BC liquor store. They also have something called a Campo Viejo Tempranillo, so a single varietal at the BC liquor store, and right now it's just $14. So that might be an interesting one to try too. You could always go buy both the bottles and do a little bit of a tasting and compare them that way. So, speaking of tasting, let's get to it. I said the appearance clear, medium, ruby bordering on garnet, because I thought the whole thing is starting to shift to garnet a bit. Nose clean, medium intensity. First thing I said was licorice. I could smell licorice first. Then blackcurrant, raspberry, blueberry, plum. A little bit of sort of raisiny smell. You said cooked fruits. I sort of said a jamminess, sort of a jam, like a fruit jam. Pepper. I'm not sure if it's black pepper or green pepper. And then some toast, some spice, some cedar, wet leaves, leather, and maybe a little bit of tobacco. That's what I got on the nose. It's an interesting wine. I mean, I think I'm interested to try this because there seems to be lots going on in the nose at least. All right, shall we taste? So first thing hit me was we drank this. It's like less, like the fruit is not. There's not that much fruit in it. Like there's some fruit, but it's definitely less than what we did in the Aroa, which you expect after was 6 years old now, right? I said dry. I said medium plus acidity, medium tannins. I said high alcohol. It's 13.5, so it's in the border between high and medium. So we're both right. Medium body, medium flavor intensity, and a sort of a medium finish, maybe medium plus finish. I got licorice again, a mixture of red and black fruit. I really couldn't tell you which ones. It seemed a little sort of all blended in, like you said. Cooked fruit. There was definitely like cedar, tobacco, leather, a little bit of pepper. I don't want to say medicinal. I was looking through the descriptors. Maybe resinous. I felt that there's a little bit of something in the back that wasn't unpleasant, but that was a difficult one to describe. And overall, I said, it was well blended. I said that it was balanced. The length was okay. The intensity was pretty good, and the complexity. I think it's well blended. I don't think it's super complex, but it's hard to tell. Sometimes, is it just so complex that I can't get it, or is it not complex at all? But I didn't think it was that complex a flavor. I said good, maybe leaning towards very good, but more on the good side. If you are looking into booking a wine tour of the Okanagan next year, and you are interested in a customizable, flexible, and completely private wine tour in the comfort of your own vehicle, please check out the link below in the comments.